What is paganism? This is Lora O'Brien from the Irish Pagan School, and I'm just going to do a really quick share of some slides here for you to actually define what is paganism. So, a paganism definition would be the spiritual beliefs and practices of ancient polytheistic religions, or the beliefs and practices of contemporary religions or spiritual movements based on ancient paganism. I'm just going to break that down really quickly. So, ancient polytheistic religions would be anything that is pre Christian or pre monotheistic, so pre any religion, before any religion that believes in one true God, one single God, right? So that would be monotheistic. So anything before that usually had multiple gods, and this is polytheistic. Okay, so poly meaning multiple. So this would be the likes of the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, etc. Right now, there's a lot more as well. There's a lot of like tribal religions. I have mentioned animism there at the bottom of the slide. And the reason that that's there is because psychological research has found that basically animism is our like default programming, right? So what animism would be a belief in an innate energy or divinity or spirituality in everything, or spiritual energy in everything, and everything being connected. So that's the rocks, the trees, the rivers, us, even politicians, right? So all of that would be like our kind of human default programming is to actually observe divinity as part of nature, as part of everything. So that really complements and ties in with and is some kind of foundation or basis for a definition of paganism, if you like. Okay. So the beliefs and practices of contemporary religions or spiritual movements based on ancient paganism. Now, this would be what we do at the Irish Pagan School. So we are contemporary pagans, right? We're not Reconstructionists. We're not, claiming that we have an unbroken line or an unbroken heritage. We are contemporary. We are part of a living tradition here in Ireland, right? Now, that tradition has not always identified itself as pagan, but when we look at our native history, heritage, and culture, we do understand that there are threads of this from our ancient paganism, so our pre Christian heritage, is still here on the island in our archaeology, in our mythology, in our folklore, even it has survived. And again, in our living traditions within Irish culture. So our beliefs and practices would be to a certain extent based on this ancient paganism, but also adapted, and our spiritual movement is very much a product of our modern time. So ancient heathens or pagans, just to give a kind of a definition of paganism as the word would have been originally intended. So heathen is an old term for a non-religious person or someone not following Judaism, Islam, or Christianity. So again, those would be part of the monotheistic religious traditions. And then pagan is a term for someone, well, neo-pagan really, like as in our new term for pagan is a term for someone who practices modern pagan religions such as Wicca, Asatru, Druidry, etc. There are many, many different pagan paths. And the origins would be heathen likely means a country dweller, especially someone living on a heath. That's literally where it comes from. And then pagan comes from the Latin paganus, meaning, again, country dweller or civilian, used for non-Christians in the Roman Empire. Now, we absolutely reclaim this term paganism, right? Our school, our entire spiritual movement, I suppose, is based around the Irish Pagan School. And in Ireland, pagan would have been very much like anyone who wasn't a Catholic was named as a pagan and was kind of, it was like a demonized term. You're a dirty pagan or a dirty heathen or, a filthy pagan, all this kind of stuff, really diminutive, right? And one of the things that's very important to me, having grown up within this, is to really reclaim this and to celebrate our ancient beliefs. And these slides that we're looking at here, they come from a class that I'm teaching at the Irish Pagan School, which is called Paganism, a Living Tradition. Okay, Irish Paganism, a Living Tradition. And it really goes into all of this in a lot more depth, obviously, but also then will help to understand with very practical exercises, a model of belief and practice, a lot more definitions and a lot more really foundational or beginner level understanding of paganism, but particularly Irish paganism. And again, an illustration of how that is a living tradition within our culture and our own spiritual movement here at the Irish Pagan School. So again, I'm Lora O'Brien. The link to access that class, if you want to take that online class, it is available. So the link for that is irishpagan.school/living. And I'll put that link below in the notes and also in the first pinned comment on the channel. Okay, slán go fóill. I will see you next time.